Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson, here, and it is that time of the week, that we have our mastermind group together, our live session. I'm actually just putting up something here just to make sure. Um, I'm going to put up a banner, of course, so people can know what the title is. But today we're going to be talking about, SEO, um, things that you must set up. That's it. I'll just keep it simple there. I guess I better edit that and make sure that I'm spelling things correctly when I do that. So bear with me. There we go. Here we are. All right. So, gosh, today might be the last call or the last live session that we're going to have of the 2023 year. I will not be doing this, next week. It'll be the day after Christmas. I'll be doing some traveling. And I'm sure very few of you would have attended anyways. So this will be the last call that we have, and then we will resume this in the first week, and we'll keep things going. But today, as I put there in that little footer banner, I put there that we are going to talk about some SEO stuff. I have been very, very fortunate. I've been with the Real Geeks platform for many, many years. I mean, I don't know if it's 15 years, 16 years, 12 years. It's been almost since the beginning. And one of the things that I did right is I really built out my website, early on and focused on SEO. So that's one of the reasons why my website gets so much traffic. I don't know this for sure, but I know what I'm going to say is for sure, I guess. But I don't know if I'm like the number one or number two most heavily trafficked Real Geeks website in the entire system of all the thousands of Real Geeks websites that are out there. And the reason why is because we really did well at SEO early on. And so I want to talk to you about SEO today. I want to give you some basic things that you've just got to have set up. I will fully disclose to you, I am not an SEO company. I'm a real estate company. I coach real estate agents. I build real estate companies, and I do real estate transactions. But I was fortunate to learn and have some good people on my staff that knew about SEO. And so through the years, we just know a lot of things that work. So I'm not going to be asking you to sign up for any SEO packages. I have no SEO packages to sell you. This is just me giving you some tips, some best practices that we've applied that's really helped us. And in a lot of my markets, if you look at if you start Googling things like community name, homes for sale, in many, many cases, you're going to see one of my Real Geeks websites rank in the top three. So we get a lot of organic traffic. I mean, it's thousands and thousands of visitors. I should have looked at analytics before I got on today's call, but I didn't. Maybe I'll put that in the comment section later on. But let's go ahead and get started. And again, this is about kind of SEO, some of the basics. I'll start with some of the basic things that you need to do to set up your website. For some of you, you've already done it. Fantastic. And I still will have additional things that maybe you'll appreciate that I share on this call. But I just want to make sure that I'm thorough in the beginning. And so for some of you that have already did this, great, good for you. But you wouldn't believe how many people that have websites have not done these things. First off, you got to go ahead and add content to your website. I mean, Google is going to base their Google rankings based on content. I mean, and nobody probably has zero content, but if you had zero content, then there'd be no reason for Google to ever show you up, show your website or offer it up into the Google search results. So you've got to have content, number one. So some of the basic things that you got to have is build out your profile. And my suggestion is don't just put a picture on there. Like, build out the profile. You can add, a bio of yourself. You can actually, what I've done is I've recorded a video And so I've got a bio, and then I've got a video that shares what I do to sell homes. And then I've got some additional content. So, like, take advantage of the fact that you have the ability not only to share your bio and put your picture on there, you can add video to it, you can add pictures on it, you can expand, you can talk about more than just, I've been in the business for 7 years and I've done this and I've done that. You can expand on that. So that's number one. The more quality content will help your SEO. And all of that's going to help you rank for your own name. Because I'll tell you what will happen if you don't do this properly. Then you keep Googling your name and all the other websites show up. Like maybe a referral website will show up. So then somebody will actually Google your name. A referral website will show up. They put their information in to talk to you, and you actually finally get them as a lead, but then have to pay a referral fee. Like, how about let's focus on ranking for our own name, because we know a lot of people Google our names. That's just one thought. So that's the value of your profile. So even if you've already set up your profile, I suggest you look for ways to enhance it. Add some video to it. It'll be really good to do that. Also adds to the consumer experience, which is important for Google when it comes to rankings. City pages. Make sure that every single city page is represented on your website. If there's multiple cities, then build a page for each one of those cities. And then make sure that there's community pages built out. So when you have a city page, you could have your home page that could have all the cities, in the sidebar, and you could have some community pages in the sidebar. You could have some zip code links in your sidebar. And then make sure that when you have a city page, that you have built out community pages for neighborhoods that are in that city. Now, for those of you that are wondering, well, how do I build pages? Okay, there's two routes that you can go with this. You can go the route of just like go to the library on the Real Geeks website, and there's plenty of tutorials out there that'll show you how to walk you through the process of building pages. That's one route you can go. Another route is you can consider joining me in my in Real Geeks Mastery Coaching. If you go to rgmastery.com, you can click on that link and learn more about the coaching program that I have. It's a weekly coaching call. It's live, and me and one of my staff members who is on my team to build out all these Real Geeks websites and monetize Real Geeks through workflows and leads, etc. Lindsay and I are talking to you once a week and showing you what we're doing, but we're also showing you how to do these things. So feel free to check out rgmastery.com. I'd love to have you as part of my coaching program, but you can do this yourself. But build those community pages, build school pages, build a page for every school in your serviceable market. So if you think about it, you have a city page. So if somebody was to go to your city page, Myrtle Beach or Columbia, then when they get to that page, they're going to see another sidebar that's going to have neighborhoods in Columbia, schools in Columbia, search by zip code in Columbia, search by price point in Columbia, like 200 to 300, 300 to 400, etc. Those are some of the basic pages. This is not high-level SEO. This is making sure that you've got some of the basic pages set up on your website, because when you're focusing on SEO or even PPC and things like that, and you're driving traffic to your website, you want to make sure that when people land on your website, they stay on your website. You don't want them to land, see nothing to look at, and then bounce off. That's going to do you wrong. It's not going to be good for you to have a high bounce rate. So you want people to land on your website and stick on your website. And one of the reasons why people will stick to your website and their average time on your website will be higher is because they feel like they're getting value from the information that you're sharing with them. So city pages, an enhanced profile, community pages, school pages, zip code pages, and make sure that all of that is organized correctly in the sidebars. And then the last one that I'll say that's basic is make sure that you have your blog set up and make sure that you're using the blog. I'll tell you a little bit more about the blog in a minute when we talk about linking. but it's very, very important that you utilize your blog. A blog is a place that you can constantly create content without necessarily having to build out dedicated pages. And then you can take the URL and link that blog. You can go ahead and post that stuff all over social media or different channels, driving traffic to your website for free. Okay. And then when people get to that website, then inside of your blog, you can have links to some of your inner pages. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but you can have some links to some of your inner pages, which again will give them SEO juice and drive some traffic to those pages. So a few basic rules that I want to share with you, and we don't have a lot of time together. Of course, these calls are around 30 minutes, or these live sessions are around 30 minutes. So I'll go through as much as I can, but some basic rules to really do well in SEO. You've got to consistently produce quality content for your targeted market. Produce quality content. So like, if you are going through your community, I do this all the time. I'll be driving down the road and I'll see a new piece of land just got cleared and there's a new sign and it's got a name of a community. The homes are not even built yet. And the community name is, Real Geeks Estates. I mean, within a couple days of me seeing that sign, I promise you, I will already have a page built on the website called Real Geeks Estates. And I'll be optimizing. And because I'm likely the first person to build out a page besides the builder themselves on their website, then when those homes actually get built, watch how I will rank number one for probably ever for that term. So be thinking ahead. I'm constantly and consistently looking to produce quality content. What makes that quality content? What makes that quality content? It's relevant to my audience, to my target market, who's going to be looking for homes in these cities. So it's relevant. So I want to make sure that if somebody's driving by, think about this, that builder's is spending hundreds of thousands of marketing dollars to promote that property, to promote the name Real Geeks Estates. Come see us. New homes. So when people start Google searching Real Geeks Estate homes for sale, or Real Geeks Estate itself, I want my website to show up first. So they are spending all these market dollars to make brand awareness for that new community coming up. And then people are Googling that new community and they're going to my website. That's producing quality content that's relevant to my target market. Blogs can also be quality content. What are some of the new things to be talking about right now? Maybe the interest rates. That's quality content to a target market, but you wouldn't want to build a page for that because that page will have to be taken down if the interest rates go up or go down. So that's not kind of evergreen content. So what you would do is you could build a page as what should I do now that the interest rates have decreased? And then now I put that on a blog and link it to some of your community pages. Another basic rule is when you're writing content, think of the keywords that you're looking to rank for and make sure that the keywords are inside of the content. Make sure the keywords are used in the title. You've got to make sure, because like if you want to rank for Real Geeks Estates and you don't have Real Geeks Estates inside of your content, then that would be confusing to Google. It's like, well, they tell me they want to rank for Real Geeks Estates, but they're not talking about Real Geeks Estates. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what they're talking about. That's the importance of keywords. Now, listen, if I was a webmaster and my business was making money off of SEO and building websites, then I could probably talk to you in a much more detailed way. I'm talking to you in a kind of like this basic conventional knowledge, conventional wisdom, which is this. Google's going to wonder what the heck we're actually trying to tell them to rank for if we don't have the keywords. Now, on a technical level, there's probably something that could be a way to say what I just said in a much more technical way, which I don't know that technical language, but I just know how it works. So make sure that a basic rule is think about your keywords as you're building pages and make sure that you're building it with that in mind. And then always focus on the user, not just getting content up. You have to ask yourself before you post something on your blog or before you build a page and you drop content onto your website for SEO purposes, I want this question to be asked 100% of the time. Is this something that I would want to read if I was in the market to buy a property or sell a property? If it's not something you would want to read, then don't put it on your website. Because if people are not getting a great user experience, they're going to bounce off your website, and these search engines are going to notice that people bounce off your website. They're going to make the assumption that the content is not worthy, and therefore, why would they push it up the ranking? These are things that you must know about SEO. Before, we talked about some things that you got to set up. Those are some basic rules. Some areas we can likely get some immediate traction. Okay, make sure, and I see this all the time, but make sure that you've claimed your Google business page, your business profile. Make sure that you've claimed that. You've got to use that, and then when you do that, make sure that when you blog on your website, make sure that you post a link on that profile to drive traffic to your blog on Real Geeks. Make sure that when you fill out that profile, you're directing that profile, because you'll be able to put your URL and tell them, what your website is. Make sure that you add your URL and tell them what your website is. So then people can go to the maps page and your Google profile and hit website and go directly to your website. That's an important link to your website. An important link to your website. To me, it's probably one of the most important links that you can have on your website. Sure, I'd love to have, some links from big companies or colleges and whatnot that have a lot of value, a lot of authority. But listen, most of us are not going to be in that position. But what we are in the position to do is make sure that we claim our Google business profile, build it out correctly. There's people out there that can actually build that for you. I know, I think Philip Plasma, I've seen some advertisements with him where he'll do that for you. I'm sure there's a small fee to it, but you may want to check that out. But you need to get that done. It matters for SEO. Also, on your Google business profile, make sure that you share properties and share listings on that profile. Again, directing them back to your website. Generate reviews. Send people to your profile to give you reviews. All of this stuff is important. And then when somebody gives you a review, make sure you reply to their review. Very, very important. All of this stuff, even you could say, well, that's not even anything to do with my website. Yes, it is, because it's linking to your website. Part of SEO is the links that you're getting, external links that you're driving to your website. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is distribution matters. Distribution matters. A solid SEO content strategy for real estate, it could look like this, okay? It could write a blog post on how to increase the market value of your home. Something like that. I mean, I'm just making up a blog title. You go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, please give me 10 suggestions for titles for my real estate blog, and it'll give you 10 suggestions right there. Or go to Google and start searching and find out what are people searching and do a blog based on that. So that's a content strategy. Then what you can do is you can repurpose that content by putting it on snippets of that. Like you could take your blog, go back to ChatGPT and say, can you take my blog and give me a few snippets to put onto YouTube, or not YouTube, to Facebook. And then all of a sudden it'll take your blog, your original work, and it'll give you a condensed version that you can then post on social media. Again, always linking it back to your website. You could take that same blog and use that as an outline to create a video. You can then add that video to the blog. Now you've got a YouTube video out there with that content, and in the description of the YouTube video, link back to your website, and then also take the blog that you created and add the video to the blog. If you want to go a little bit further, you can take some shorts out of the video. You can take the YouTube and cut it down to shorts and reels and put it on, Instagram, put it onto YouTube, put it onto the Reels section of Facebook. See, by writing that one blog, you could have social media content linking back. You could put that on your Google Maps. You could put that on your Google business profile and linking back. You could put a link to the blog in your email signature. You could actually post the video on YouTube. You can then put it on the blog. You can create shorts out of the video and use it on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And it's one blog. Look at how much repurposing I just did with that one bit of content, all adding to the SEO value to your website. Another thing I have here, again, I'm just kind of touching on different aspects. Again, not going too deep because we only have so much time together, but linking matters. Linking matters. You'll hear people talk about, you need to get more backlinks. Yes, you do, but just don't get spammy backlinks. Man, there's people out there that you'll see them rank all of a sudden, like, where did this website come from? They're like now showing up ranking for everything. And then, when somebody looks into it a little further, they find out they've got all these spam links. And then like one time Google then does a kind of an update to their algorithm. And then all of a sudden that website's gone forever. I've just seen that. I see that so often and seen it so often over the years, but linking does matter. Of course, I said something about a college. Like if you were connected to a college and you could get a link, colleges and institutions like that are high authority and usually high authority URLs and give a lot of link juice. If you got any connections like that, go for it. It's not likely that you do. I wish I did. It's not likely that you do, but that'll do you wonders. But where you can really do a lot of improving in the area of linking is linking your inner pages. So like, remember I said in the beginning, build a city page and then build some neighborhood pages under the city page. And let's just say you got a city page and the city page is Dallas. And then you've got some neighborhood pages in the greater Dallas area. And one of them is called Dallas Estates. Well, make sure that when somebody clicks on Dallas Estates and they read the content and see the listings that you have, well, within the body of content that you posted, make sure that you say something like, if you like Dallas Estates and want to see similar communities, you may want to check out and then put Houston Estates, Austin Estates, San Antonio. Homes in San Antonio. I know those cities are well apart, but just pretend that they're all cities in the same MLS. You see how I basically told the consumer, hey, if you're interested in this stuff and like to see more, then here's some additional neighborhoods that you can check out. Maybe they're the same price range, the same area. So what I just did is I just created in one page, I just created 3 links to other pages that I have on my website. And yes, there's value in that. Not only is that a great consumer experience, because if I'm looking at this property and I don't know the area and I'm looking at Dallas Estates, but don't know the other neighborhoods, well, but I read your website and it says, hey, if you like this, you may also want to check out these similar ones. Then you just made it easy for me to access more information. And if you make it easy for me to access information, I don't need to bounce off your website and go back to Google and do another search. I can stay and continue searching on your website. See how, so not only did that interlinking improve the experience that I have as a consumer, a visitor to your site, but the interlinking also gives me value. Because value in the sense that I'm getting a link, that I'm driving links to other pages. Of course, make sure you're consistent with blogging. I've talked about blogging a few times here, but make sure you're consistent with blogging because blogging is another way to get links to internal pages. So you blog and then say, if you'd like to look at the top 10 neighborhoods, then you can, or top neighborhoods in this city, then boom. So you could create a blog about the city, everything you need to know about Dallas. And then in that blog, create some content, a paragraph about the top 3 communities, and then link those community names to the inner page where you've already built those community pages. Another great way to do linking. Then take that blog and take snippets, repurpose it, like all the ways that I just said that you could repurpose it. Now you're getting links to a blog that's linking to those inner pages. This is SEO. Now, this is basic SEO. If there's a few SEO guys out there, listen, I know that you're smarter than me about SEO. So believe me, I'm not trying to replace you. I'm just trying to get the people that really are real far behind, that they're confused. They don't know exactly what to do. I just want to give them some insight, start pointing them in the right direction. I've used SEO people to help me over the years. We do it all in house. It's in staff right now. But in the beginning, that's how I got my start. If it wasn't for those professionals, I'd never have a chance. Another thing we're talking about linking is, look, Google your name, Google your company, and look at all of the profile opportunities that you haven't taken advantage of. Now, what I mean by that is this, like Google your name and probably Zillow is going to come up. Have you filled out your Zillow profile? Not everybody has. Homes.com is probably going to come up. I like sometimes I just this morning I was Googling the names of a few real estate agents locally. I wanted to get some information on them before I was going to talk to them. And I Googled their name and I noticed that, like, I think two out of the three had never even filled out their realtor.com profile. It's free. So make sure, like, can you imagine if somebody's Googling your name and they go to realtor.com and they can see nothing on you? And then they go to like homes.com and they see nothing on you, they're going to start wondering, are you legitimate? Like, that makes no sense to them. So you got to think of it like the consumer. Google your name, find out the profiles that are out there that you've never actually developed for free. Go fill them out. Put your picture on there. Put a bio on there. And guess what? They all allow you to link to your website. Link to your website. So Zillow, homes.com, realtor.com, LinkedIn, even your Facebook page can be linked. A business page can be, linked to your website. And the best way to just get started, the simple thing is just Google your name and Google like Greg Harrelson Real Estate or whatever your name is, real estate, and watch. All the search results will show up, and just scroll down the first 2 or 3 pages of Google search results. Click on everything. And if it allows you to build a profile and link to your website. So again, these are some basic things. How do we get access to these as recordings? So, this Real Geeks themselves takes this video. First of all, they leave it on the Facebook page, so you can always do that. But they end up sending you, if you pay attention to your emails, usually a couple days later, they send out replays, on this. So it's nothing that I do. This is Real Geeks Facebook page. I don't pull the stuff off of there and take it, but that's what happens. So be looking out for the replays that that Real Geeks will send you. I see another question here. Do we have Google Workspace as part of our Harrelson Group email with the franchise where we can claim our web page on Google? Man, that's a way over my head. So if sounds like you might be an agent in my office, the best thing for you to do is just talk to me direct, so I can tell you who to talk to within my office. But that would not be something that I'd be able to answer. That's we start talking about Google Workspace, I got to send you to a staff member. I'm not the one that actually orchestrates that. Okay, so listen. Again, there's so much more to talk about with SEO. I'll leave you with this. This is kind of some on-page, as you're building pages. I want to make sure that you know this. Page title matters. The page title matters. Make sure that your page title the page title is consistent with something that the consumer would want to read. Like a page title on how to fix your cabinets. For those of you who may like that as a title, it's not something that I would do, because that's like somebody who's Googling how to fix my cabinets. That's not the people that normally would want to go to my website. So the page title matters. So be thinking about keywords and page title. Think about your headers. These things matter. Make sure that you go to Google and look at tutorials about meta descriptions, page titles, and header text. All of these things, without going too deep, this is where the SEO people can come into play. But all of those things matter because it's a way to communicate with Google and let Google know what your intention is for the content that you're posting on your website, that you're building on your website, and giving it insight as to where it should, where you, or what categories and why, or what keywords I should say, that you should rank for. So there's got to be consistency in the titles, the headers, the descriptions, and things like that. And then make sure the body of the content is consistent. Like if you got a title and it's Myrtle Beach Real Estate, make sure that Myrtle Beach Real Estate is somewhere in the body of the content. Very, very important. Now, my intention today was give you enough information for you to know that there's some simple things that you can do without knowing a lot to start improving the SEO of your website. For those of you that are like, okay, I got this, these simple things, then I would say if you want to go into depth, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be trying to do too much advanced stuff or even learning how to do it. I would then seek out some of the SEO guys that focus on Real Geeks websites. That's what I would do. That's what I have done. And I would keep my attention on calling through my database and setting more appointments. Okay. So I hope that helps. Of course, you should understand why I would not be able to tell you high level SEO techniques because I'll leave that for the professionals. But what I can tell you is the things that I shared, these are must things to do immediately to be able to give yourself a shot to having any SEO juice being directed to your website. I hope you find that information. I hope you find that information helpful. As I said in the beginning, we will not be together next week. So this will be the last time we're together in 2023. And then I just hope that you'll remember that my coaching program is, of course, Real Geeks Mastery. You can go to rgmastery.com. And if you would like to learn how to do more on this Real Geeks website, utilize more of the tools. I always say this, for most people, websites are an expense, but for top agents, they're an investment. And what that means, the difference in an expense and investment is an expense is where there's a lot of money going out, and an investment is when there's money going out, but there's more money coming in. And what I do in Real Geeks Mastery is we teach you how to monetize your database, how to utilize and leverage the tools so you can actually turn this expense into an investment. So if you want to learn more about Real Geeks and how to do it at a higher level, I just kind of open up the curtains and show you everything that we're doing. I give you a lot of information on this Thursday's call. There's been people asking me about recruiting. So I'm going to really just give them a copy of our recruiting workflows. That's the type of stuff that we do for our Real Geeks Mastery clients. So hopefully you'll check us out, rgmastery.com. You all have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Bye, everybody.